it's the last day of the readathon, and I'm totally, completely ending this. Nothing really happened in my vlog because I didn't leave my house. I wanted to finish all my books, and I barely made it. I was barely able to finish it just in time. I'm so relieved about that. So the very first book I finished today was Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. I read the remaining about almost 400 pages left in it. For a long time I thought that Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban was my favorite book in the series, but now I think Order of Phoenix had the humor and had the heartbreak and had the character development and had the angst. And now that I'm way older, and I can definitely see why Harry was so angry, and I also definitely see the flaws that were present in both Dumbledore's decision and Sirius's decision. Like, I'm no longer clouded by the, oh my god, Sirius is perfect, he can't do no wrong. I definitely can see where it went wrong, so I understand the reason why now. So yeah, still definitely my favorite book in the series, absolutely my favorite book in the series. And then I read Cersei by Madeline Miller. This is a retelling of the myth of Cersei told from a perspective. Now, Cersei I've always loved ever since she first appeared in Homer's Odyssey. I loved the short glimpse we got, and I've always wanted to see more of her life. And I think that Madeline Miller told this fantastic, brilliant story of her, and her voice is so clear and so simple and literally reads like a translation, a modern day, not modern day, but a easily understood, more prose-like translation of Homer's work. And I love the simplicity of it, and I love exactly how, as always, you can always tell people that love the classics, that love myth, and the way the stories link and different characters from other myths, like Daedalus, and of course I've always known the connection between Scylla and Cersei, but I was so surprised about Medea and Cersei's connection, which is funny because I don't know why I never did connect it. So like I enjoyed that. I loved seeing that. I definitely loved the way it ended. Definitely a 5-star. Other than the Phoenix was a 5-star, of course. It's a reread. It's one of my favorite books, so it's expected, but definitely a 5-star. I really love this. And the last book I read for the readathon is an illustrated history of notable shadowhunters and denizens of the Downworld by Cassandra Jean. This was, of course, it's the way it reads. It's just basically giving us the brief little snippets and information about characters in the Shadowhunter world. There are characters, old characters I know, new characters I'm looking forward to meeting, and I love the fact that I was able to see it. This didn't take itself too serious. Like, I love the little bits that they put in. The fact that, for example, Cordelia Castells was very fond of hiding underneath her brother's bed and grabbing for him, and even as an adult he's always checking under his bed because he's traumatized by his sister. Like, that was funny. That was fucking hilarious. So yeah, I love the little bit of things we learned throughout the book, but I'm also really looking forward to reading the series, and then of course connecting these stories with the faces and the characters' stories that I get in the books. So that's the last of the books. I finally pulled it off. 7 books in 7 days. It's madness. I need to sleep. I need to go to work. It's insane. I need to nap and then get ready to go to work. So for the last day's video challenge, we're meant to tell a story about a book recommendation that we got, and so my story starts when I was 14. When I just turned 14, I was starting SS1, which was senior secondary school in Nigeria. You have junior secondary school, and then you take the junior secondary school examinations, and then SS1 you are preparing for your senior secondary school examinations that you take when you turn 13. So it's 3 years, and I finally got the chance to take literature, and one of the books, my literature teacher, this was the very first time I was actually I'd read a bit of some classics in primary school, but because of course those were the only books that were available, and I consumed every book I came across. But see, the thing about it was that I had grown older at that point in time. I was really able to enjoy and understand the stories, and my literature teacher in school then, that was Mr. Oni, introduced me to Silas Manor by George Eliot. And I remember when I was like, you would really like it, you would appreciate her mind. I was looking at him, I'm like, why? And he's like, did you know that George Eliot was a woman? Marianne Evans, and she wrote under a pseudonym as a man because she wrote at a time when women were not published, when women's work were not taken seriously. But she had stories and she wanted to tell, and she wrote, she wrote Silas Mana, she wrote Adam B. She had written so many stories before the news event, before the truth eventually came out, and they couldn't take that away from her because she had already risen to those heights of success. And you cannot claim that, our story was subpar because you've been publishing it all this while when you thought she was a man. And I remember I was like, wow, that is fucking brilliant. I picked up Silas Mana because I loved the story of the author behind the book, and then I fell in love with Silas Mana itself. It's still one of my favorite classics of all time. So yeah, that's a recommendation. I picked up a book because I loved the story behind the author, and then I ended up loving the book as well. So yes, it's wow. I vlogged every day throughout this week. It's insane, but thank you for having me. Bye.